YouTube, talking with Adam Johnson from Safe Harbor Credit Union, president of Safe Harbor. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Thanks for coming today.
All right, thanks for having us. Jen Merchant, how you doing?
Great.
All right, and I would like you to take a moment and introduce, if you don't mind, the other side of the table. We'll swing over there for a second. Introduce these three individuals, if you don't mind, for us.
Well, we'll start with Tony Johnston over there. He runs the food club out at G2S.
Yeah, good morning.
Jackie Tuca, she's our mortgage originator. She's helping organize Best Day Ever.
Okay, very cool.
And then Brett, I didn't get your last name, but he's a student at G2S.
All right, well, welcome, and you got a free pass to get out of school for a little bit, right? All right, so that's a good thing. We are broadcasting live from Safe Harbor Credit Union, both on Hot Country Hits 99.9, 102.7 WMOM. But if you have a chance to watch this, we're on our YouTube channel as well as both Facebook pages for this segment, because we want to make sure that, as your shirt says, Adam, best day ever. This is a pretty huge campaign, and it's not just something that is local to the Ludington area, but it's something that you can be involved in coming up this Friday. But Jen, it's something that is nationwide or even kind of worldwide as well. Tell us a little bit about Best Day Ever, if you don't mind.
So we partner with a fintech, Kasasa, and what they do is they help small community banks and credit unions provide top services, products and services, so we can compete with those larger banks. Their CEO teamed up with influencer Charlie Rocket, and what they've done is created Best Day Ever. Their goal is to do 100,000 random acts of kindness across the country.
On just one day?
Well, Charlie and Gabe have been traveling around the country for the last 30 days leading up to this Friday. So they've been kind of going around the country and making a lot of dreams come true, kind of the build up leading up until November 3rd this Friday.
All right, very cool. And that brings in Tony and your team and the various food clubs and organizations here in the area. You decided, hey, let's help these clubs and reach out to the community to do that. Take us through those steps.
Well, we started brainstorming about what we wanted to do and met with O'Neillia, who introduced us to Tony and the school. I didn't really realize that they had a food club, and it's sort of powered by the Lakeshore Food Club. Is that?
Yeah, we essentially are an extension of the Lakeshore Food Club.
Yeah. So then after meeting with Tony and getting to meet with some of the students, it's just something that we really wanted to be a part of.
All right.
And then Jackie, do you want to talk about?
The other food pantry that we're helping on this day is the Caritas Food Pantry in Custer. It's located right in St. Mary's Catholic Church Family Activity Center. And that was established several years ago. They've grown, so they were once in a small room at St. Jerome's in Scottville until they closed. So then they moved it over to Custer, and they serve anyone that is in need. So they have Lake, Oceana counties, Mason County, and they in 2023 have served just over 150 families per month. So families are able to use our services once a month. It's free. There's no membership requirement. They offer non-perishable items, but also fresh produce, meats, eggs, milk, and dairy products. So it's a great facility for the community, and we're hoping that we can get some donation items for them on this day.
All right, and what kind of items are we looking for when we talk about this? Take us through what should people bring to you?
I think we have two lists that we'll be putting out on social media. I know the Caritas Pantry is wanting some special items that they don't receive on a regular basis, which would be like cottage cheese, yogurt, some dairy products. So hopefully those will be some items that people can find at the grocery store and drop them off on November 3rd.
All right, we talked about crock pots as part of this. And at first I was thinking, okay, what does this mean? And if you're just joining us, we're at Safe Harbor Credit Union. We're talking about the Best Day Ever coming up this Friday. There is such a need in this area, and we talk about the homeless or the less fortunate in the area, but how does crock pots work into that, Jen? Take us through that if you don't mind.
After talking with O'Neillia, we were talking about the housing crisis, and so families they have food, or they're getting food, but they don't really have a way to prepare a warm meal. So a crock pot would help them. They may have a microwave but not a stove, or they have a stove but no pots and pans, or were you going to say something? You took okay.
I bet he's got details.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah, no, it's good. But yeah, and it is an opportunity for people that have that electric option to or maybe they have limited resources that they can cook something to last for the rest of the day, eat a couple of meals out of that. And so are we looking for crock pots to be dropped off right here?
Yeah, so we're encouraging our local businesses or even individuals to purchase a brand new crock pot and drop it off to the credit union, and then we'll make sure that we distribute them to the school or even the food club.
All right, sounds good. So 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. this Friday. Tony, it sounds like you're going to have some students here, right?
Yes, we will.
Okay, take us through their responsibilities. What's going to happen there?
Ideally, I think we'll have a couple different groups of students. I think we'll have a couple here. I think we're going to have a box for any monetary donations that anyone's willing to give. So we'd have students there kind of thanking and greeting anyone who'd be willing to do that. And then I think we're going to have a group right out the back door at Family Fair that will have the stack of the lists of things that our different pantries could use more than others to distribute to people, so they can take that and elect to purchase some of those things to donate.
How is it going to feel, Brent, if you have people that show up and say, hey, you know what, I want to do some shopping, I want to be able to help the food pantries in the area. From a student at G2S, what's your feelings on that?
As someone who's starting a budget at a kind of a young age, at 18 years old, I understand. Well, let me say this. I really appreciate how people would do that for our community. It still gives you hope that there's good people out there and good people in the community. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think that's very important when you talk about that, is that, for somebody to say, hey, you know what, I did my shopping, I've got some extras that I picked up, and be able to help with the food club. And you have a club right at the school, right? People
We do.
are coming in. And so, Brent, I'll ask you this question. Have you had a chance to see people shop and observe, and what's your feelings when you see people picking out items right there at the school?
I'm glad that kids who may not go home, or they go home hungry and not knowing if they're going to have dinner at night, I'm glad that they can go to the food pantry and they can load themselves up, and they can have as much food as they want, pretty much enough food to feed their family for a week.
Yeah.
or so at a time. And we can go twice a week at school, so that's really nice. I don't need personally anything from the food pantry, so I try to leave it for others, and so other people can get what they want and don't have to go to bed hungry.
And that's part of helping out in the community, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jen, let's go over the logistics one more time. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. this Friday. You have what food clubs involved? One more time, if you can, for us.
G2S Food Club in
Caritas.
I can't say Caritas.
Okay, Caritas. Okay.
Yep.
And then you'll have people here collecting the donations at Family Fair as well, just right behind.
Yep.
And we want people to purchase right then and there if they can from Family Fair and
Yep.
drop off. It's going from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Could you see a full lobby of items, crock pots, food, and all of that?
I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
so. Yeah. But we're missing an important piece too.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
You'll be here from 9 to 3 broadcasting live, right? And so one of the things that we wanted to do is, if you drop off an item that's on the list, they can make a request,
Yeah,
right? Or they
we'll-
can do
we'll do
a
some
shout out.
shout-outs, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So-
we'll have a little dance party.
I think that'll be fun. Yeah, we'll be able to do that. Tony, I expect you to be dancing throughout that time.
I'll be boogieing.
All right, so Tony, we'll kind of wrap up a little bit here with you and why you wanted to team up with Safe Harbor, why you the goals of the food club. Take us through that information for the community.
Sure. Well, I come from a background of agriculture, so food is very important to me. Feeding people is very important to me. I wound up in education, so students are very important to me. Like Robin Hood, I'll take what I can get from whoever, and Safe Harbor invited us to the party. So we're just really thankful that they thought of us and brought us into the fold. So, yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's good. And remind those listeners and viewers out there, and we're going to put a list out, right? The list will. How soon do you think we'll be able to put that list out?
Today.
Today. Okay. All right. Of items that you want people to shop for, to gather at this point. Because when Friday comes around, maybe we forget some things and stuff like that. So if they can shop today, and make sure that they're ready to drop off for on Friday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Adam, last word. Why is Safe Harbor so involved in the community for an event like this and others?
I think this is a time of year where food can be a little bit more scarce, whether it's the food clubs, food pantries. It's a good time to just start building up those pantries to hopefully get a lot of families through the winter. Summertime we have a lot of farms that can produce a lot of fresh produce and food then, but this time of year not so much. So this is just a good way to kind of kick off that season to help build up these pantries and help a lot of people or families through the cold winter months.
All right. And Jen, I would assume with some of the business owners and others that are listening right now or viewing, that they could even do some in-house gathering, maybe some of their employees, and putting that on their radar. I'd love to see businesses drop off in loads of food items, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's the goal.
Mm-hmm. All right. Best day ever.
Right.
Coming up Friday. Did we miss anything to talk about?
I guess I'll just also say that if for some reason this week just doesn't work out for you, and next week or week after that, you have some food you want to donate but not really sure where to take it, please come see us and we'll help make sure it's distributed to the places that need it.
All right, sounds good. And you have, Jen, your community gal here. What's your name one more time?
Jackie.
Jackie. This is part of just one sliver of how Safe Harbor is involved in the community and wanting to help the community, right?
Yes, we always look for opportunities to make a difference, and I think the pantries, Caritas is a special place for me because I attend that church and community. We help volunteer there, and I just know they make a huge impact on local families from the area, and it's just really important that we're a part of all that.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thanks to all of you for joining us this morning here on Hot Country Hits 99.9 and 102.7 MOM FM. So make sure you're checking out, and Tony, you've got a great G2S video that you produced, or the team produced there. It's on your Facebook page, right? You're live, I believe, or viewing video here with your team as well. But make sure you check that out. Make sure you're following the Safe Harbor Credit Union Facebook page, G2S, as well as the Lakeshore Food Club and others to make sure that you know what's happening later this week. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll be broadcasting live on both radio stations on Hot Country Hits 99.9 and 102.7 MOM FM from Safe Harbor Credit Union. So join us, stop in, let's make a difference. I think that would be the best thing to do is at 3 o'clock just be able to say, wow, the community came out in full force. So we're looking forward to it. It's Chris here on 102.7 MOM FM.